by my father directly that he did raise me right. I therefore acknowledge that all of my own insufficiencies and negative proclivities must be a product of my own moral failings and no fault of the siren or rearing process. As long as I can remember, I've not been able to sleep the amount that other men can and should. Often nights, either alone or next to the brief company of a satisfied lover, I would look into the expanse of textured plaster that lie above my bed and contemplate the nature of sleep and the world of dreams. I suspect the experience of a restful night's sleep for other folks is similar to the waking sensation that I have staring into the ripples of plaster laid down long ago by some diligent architect, and I will allow my wants and my fears for my future to muddle up together in my mind and sire strange visions which are not behold to me. I was once told by a feller wiser than myself that such a technique is used in the Orient by men who wish to obtain the wisdom that we men are not meant to have. When Lonnie's brother first began to manufacture the chalk in the crude kitchen he built in the hollow, I will admit to judging him at that early date. However, as his sales began to grow and more folks grew fond of the sugared quartz amphetamine he could produce from the most humble and unadorned of household products and tools, then I too wanted my share of the profit that could be gleaned from such a marginal involvement in his illicit undertaking. All throughout the summer in these mountains, there are revivals, festivals, day camps, and all sorts of religiosity that take place, and many people travel to participate in the varied associated revelry and oblation that takes place in these hills. A trick that was discovered by a cleverer feller than I is that even if a body was to be transporting a controlled substance through state lines, if he was dressed as a character from the good book or as a supernatural entity of Christian significance, it would be assumed by any boys in blue that he was merely making a commute to a religious event. These were the fat times, before Johnny Law began to make illegal the sale of several previously permissible janitorial products and convenience items. My garb of choice was that of the angel Gabriel, discarded after a Christmas pageant and left for me to find outside the gas station that was my previous place of employment. Even though I knew they were impotent, I dreamed in my waking dreams of the tinsel and feathered wings that I would wear as I drove my precious and persecuted cargo through these hills, carrying me far above my home, above the valley, and into a sky the texture of rippled plaster, applied by a cosmic artisan over a piece of composite board, what lay behind which only the yellow men of the Orient know for sure. Even though I had been counseled by the disexperience of my peers, I found myself curious about the effects of the crystals that were prized by so many, enough for me to have the prodigal lifestyle I was now afforded. Perhaps it was hubris for someone already with such a proclivity to avoid slumber to begin partaking in a drug that prevents rest. Unfortunately, the memories of my first month as a habitué were packed into my memory like gear into an unkempt tackle box, with many sinks and lures never to be seen again. I believe that this is mostly fortunate. I do, however, remember the end of my first month awake. I was still wearing the tattered wings of the angel Gabriel, and was trying to permanently borrow some money off the operators of Walmart when I got into a disagreement with the gun in my hand. It was my position that we both ought to take our money and get, whilst it was the position of the gun that we should put a bullet through each can of vegetable soup that Mama had fed me as a child. This led to my detainment. Several months later, once I was in a state to understand it, it was related to me that a stray bullet from the gun I was arguing with had killed a Baptist minister 1 aisle behind a can of soup that had been my least favorite variety as a child. The news spoke only of his intensity for the Word of God, but I recognized his picture as a fellow enthusiast of Lonnie's product, and had a suspicion that our shared hobby had contributed to the ecclesiastical fervor he was now remembered for. I forewent all my rights to appeal, and now speak to few people, and listen to even fewer. But I was told a story about one inmate that cracked through the walls of the self-imposed prison I had confined myself in, inside this penitentiary I now reside within. He was a migrant to our great country, and had brought with him one of the tales from his homeland of a God who sleeps, and while he sleeps, dreams our world into life. I have never felt any resonance with the stories of the religion in my own land, but I felt this story move me, and I feel a kinship to the dreaming God. We are all characters in his perpetual listless pageant, until the moment he awakes us all into non-existence. Perhaps in that moment, he will have some fleeting memory of our stories, the wrongs and rights we have done in our lives, and even a memory of our own fleeting dreams. But it is possible that he will awake with no memory at all of this dream, and the plaster on the ceiling will be wiped smooth, and the knife will smear a new texture into fresh plaster that has not yet set. Turns out it was all a dream after all.
New Tampax Essentials tampons give you protection designed to fit your unique shape and lifestyle. The Essentials tampon features a leak guard skirt to help stop leaks before they happen, along with a smooth, rounded plastic applicator for comfortable insertion. Each tampon comes with a sturdy grip that helps prevent your fingers from slipping and helps get your tampon in the right place. Get a grip with Tampax Essential tampons. It's essential.
Luck? I never had any luck. I never even got lucky. I never had a girlfriend. I hardly know any girls. What do people say to girls anyway? I remember one time in grade 10, a girl I had a few classes with, who I'd liked for months, was walking by me in the hall, and I don't know what happened, but I just walked up to her and I said, "Hey Julie, you want to get some coffee sometime?" And she looked back and said, "Who are you?" 3 classes, 45 minutes each, every day, and I sat right behind her. At least her hair smelled nice. But that's alright. Still got plenty of life left to live. Plenty of time to do all the things I want to do. I want to get a girlfriend, sure. But it's more than that. I want to get in shape. I want to stop drinking so much. I want to write a book. I guess I need to start writing more. I had an English teacher in high school once tell me I was a talented writer. She even read some of my poems. Wish I hadn't stopped writing them. Wish I'd kept up with the gym. It's easy to get bogged down, in whatever you're doing and just let things slide. Wish I had more self-control, more discipline, more motivation. Speaking of motivation, I hate my friggin' job. I hate my boss. He's a real asshole. And he always does that, that friendly punch thing, like right in the arm when he sees you for the first time. At first, I dealt with it, but now I'm sick to friggin' death of it. I got this bruise on my arm, I don't even know where it came from. And it's right near where he always hits, and, so it actually hurts now. So the other day, I actually visibly winced when he was about to do it, not that I was afraid of the blow, but because I wanted to make it clear to him that I didn't want him to do that shit anymore. And then he hit me anyway, friggin' prick. I know if I had his job, I could do it better. I never get a chance to prove myself. I'm just waiting for my chance. I won't anyone give me a chance. I'm good at a lot of things. I know for a fact that nobody likes my jerk-off boss. I know for a fact that people would like me better if I was in charge, I wish I could just quit my job and start over. Maybe move someplace else. Someplace where no one would know me and I could just hit the reset. If I win the lottery, that's the first thing I'd do. Not that I'd win the lottery. I never won anything in my life. Not once, not ever, not even in school. Everything's just hard right now. But I'm not one to get down about this sort of crap. I know it's temporary. I keep a stiff upper lip. Like today, I woke up and it was raining, so I was like, alright, universe, I get it, everything sucks. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to go out there and try, So I went shopping and I got locked out of my car. Because I dropped my inhaler on the ground and I accidentally shut the door with my ass when I bent to pick it up. My keys were in there along with my Kroger Plus card, so I had to pay like $10 more for my groceries, and then I had to walk home in the rain with my groceries that cost $10 more to get my extra keys. I told my roommate about it, and he was like, why didn't you just call me? And I was like, first of all, I assumed you'd be too stoned to drive, and second of all, my cell phone was in the fucking car, or else I would've, you fucking stoner idiot. Yeah, well, I didn't say those exact words, but, it was kind of like that. And sure, my printer is low on toner, and I don't want to order it off Amazon, because it'd take days to arrive anyway, and I need it, right now. And sure, the only grocery store in my neighborhood is overpriced and it sucks. And sure, I hate living in this city and I've been wanting to move for longer than I can remember. And sure, my roommate, he eats the grossest shit. He eats gross food like you wouldn't believe, and then he leaves the mess around for days. But sure, but that isn't all there is to life. My roommate isn't even that bad. We're friends and all. It's just his girlfriend that's the problem. Ever since they started dating, things have been different. First off, she practically lives here, rent-free. Second off, he never does anything without her anymore. Third off, she uses the bathroom for like hours out of the day. Any given day, she's in the bathroom for at least 2 hours. How does she even get anything done? If I had 2 less hours in the day, I'd get nothing done. And that's not even the worst of it. She'll take food into the bathroom, like food on one of my plates, by the way, the plate belongs to me, and she'll leave the plate, like with crumbs and shit on it, on top of the sink, or on top of the toilet, or on the edge of the tub when she gets out, she's worse than my sisters. My sisters don't understand me. They're always asking me why I don't find a nice girl. Yeah, right. Why don't you set me up with one of your cute friends then? I think I'm not good enough, but they never say that. Maybe they just don't like me. But I don't care about that because, while I'm being honest, I don't like them. They like to make fun of me. They talk about me like I'm not even there sometimes. Well, let me tell you something about my sisters. Angela, alright, she gained almost 50 pounds since she got married, and she probably has a drinking problem. Sarah was such a slut in high school that people gave me shit about it even 4 years after she graduated when I was there. So, I know a lot of people that are laughing at them, probably. I would. I know that Angela talks about me to her therapist. I know this because I heard her telling Sarah what her therapist said about my problems. Seems like a waste of friggin' money to pay a therapist $60 an hour, to talk about someone else's problems. It's like, get a life. What do you need a therapist for anyway? Just quit drinking so much white wine and enjoy the shit your husband buys you. And call Mom every once in a while. She always asks me about you, and I hate it because I have to try to, put a positive spin on you. My mom is one of the most wonderful women in the world. When I come home to visit, she's always wearing some cute grandmotherly apron. She always has cookies fresh from the oven. I swear the woman must bake around the friggin' clock. Like, wake up, bake some cookies, set them out to cool, whip up a nice pie crust from scratch, plop a fresh fruit pie in the oven, rinse, wash, repeat. She'll just sit around, sit on the counter and talk to me. Tell me that she's proud of me, always. and shall visit with me like no one else in the world.